Many people have been asking me what's the best roadmap to get into the industry. And I could be a typical UX bullshitter and tell you it depends. But you know what? It kinda doesn't. There is an easier way into the digital product industry and many people are already taking it. Do you wanna know what it is?
Well, we're waiting.
Let's start by stating the problem. When you say UX designer, what exactly do you mean by that? Because that definition has shifted so much it's practically impossible to have it work the same way for every possible company. It's too fluid for that. A lot of the industry, especially in smaller companies, have shifted to just two roles, UX designer and UX researcher. But still, in many big companies, a UX designer is often the researcher that barely does any design at all. That creates confusion and makes it more difficult to get into the industry because you practically don't really know what you're getting into, what kind of a role you're expected to fill. It is a lot more difficult to get into your first UX job because how can you do it if even the companies you're applying for have no idea what they're actually hiring for? So how do you make sense of it all? Well, it's surprisingly easy. The shortcut to the industry is through UI design, as simple as that. Learning to design beautiful, clear, readable interfaces with good typography, good white space, good color choices, and all the good practices and all good information architecture patterns is currently the best way to get your first industry job. There are a couple of reasons for that. One of them is that still to this day, many people aren't really that great at it. There is a huge opportunity here that most designers are not taking because they're thinking that their design thinking process is all that matters and moving those little rectangles around is not that important. I disagree. The main reason is that after so many years of using apps and websites with pretty good interfaces and pretty good user experiences, we as users also get enough knowledge on the user experience. We know what works, we know what doesn't. So if you combine that common sense knowledge about the working patterns from other products and good UI skills, you're more than ready to start your first job. All the good information architecture patterns are simply repeated over and over and over again until they get boring. But people like the boring because they like the predictable. They like to use something that they already used before. So there's no need to reinvent the wheel with a dashboard design, a registration, a login, or a checkout. It's all the same stuff, simply wrapped in a better package and with a different value proposition. The other thing is that when you're a junior designer and you know the design thinking process and you have the double diamond tattooed on your arm, chances are you're not gonna be doing anything meaningful once you get the job.
Yep.
In most cases, you'll just be helping other designers with some pretty meaningless tasks and they will guide you through the more complex ones.
What does that mean? You better say something or they'll think you're stupid.
And that's okay, because this is how you learn. Working full-time as initially a UI designer, you will learn which parts of the UX process are used at your company, which are completely skipped, and what you need to focus on and learn more about. But those solid, good UI skills are something that most companies can make use of right away. Right after you're hired for the UI position, you can contribute in a meaningful way right away. Your UI skills are also a lot easier to evaluate. Because if something is readable, clear, and beautiful, chances are it's gonna be pretty universally recognizable as such. Your long, term paper-like looking case study with personas, customer journey maps, and empathy maps, though, you know what, that looks kind of similar to dozens or hundreds of other case studies like that. Unless you differentiate it somehow. But most designers that are not UI focused can't do that. And that leads us to them blending in together to a big mass of people where evaluating that is next to impossible. With UI, it's super simple. So yes, focusing on UI skills will get you a job a lot faster. And I can help you with that a little bit. But of course, most of the work has to be done on your part. You need to put in the hours, you need to work tirelessly every single day, and you need to practice every day to get good at it. But if you do that, chances of getting your first job are way higher than if you just focused on writing personas and customer journey maps. So practice your UI skills, practice them daily, and I've done some really good courses that you can also check out in the description of this video. But whatever you do, just don't give up. and know that your UI skills will get you through the door, and then you're gonna have to learn most of the other UX stuff that you're missing. This is the easiest and fastest way into the industry, with so many examples of people all around us getting in that way and excelling at that UX part, because it's a lot easier to learn UX on actual real products, not on some made-up case studies. So once your UI skills get you through that door, your UX skills will explode anyway. So keep your head up, practice some more, and obviously have a beautiful day.